flexible, I can't do yoga. Well, that's why you want to do yoga, is because you want to get more flexible and you want to get more open in your body. So I want you to enjoy the journey of exploring yoga. And yoga means to unite. The word means to unite, to yoke. So even if you're just connecting, uniting with your breath, you can do yoga. So I say you can do yoga no matter where you are. If you're alive and breathing and you can smile, you can do yoga. So today we're going to have a very nice class. It's going to be a lot of laying down and no standing poses. So please go ahead and lie down on your back. Feel the four corners of your body rooted down. Let your legs fall out and open, and press your shoulders down, and please bring your hands to your belly. And you can close your eyes. And we're going to do some belly breathing. So I want you to inhale your belly full right up into your hands, and then exhale your belly all the way back as far as you can take it. Inhale it full. Exhale it back. Inhale your belly really full. Exhale it back. This is very tonifying to all your internal organs. Your immune system brings blood in circulation to all these organs that keep you fit and healthy. Slow, deep breathing. Inhaling your belly straight up to the ceiling. Exhaling it back. A couple more times. The gift of your breath. The most powerful healing modality you have. Your breath. And now release your hands to the side. Let them rest on your mat or on the carpet, wherever you are. And now I want you to pick up your right leg just about 3 or 4 inches. Just pick it up and rest it back down. Pick up your other leg, just a few inches, rest it back down. And now pick up your right arm a few inches, let it settle back down into the earth. And then your other arm, feel it press down into the earth. And then lift your head up about 3 inches. And set it back. Take a big deep breath. And now we'll start doing some stretches. Squeeze your legs together. Squeeze them together. And please pick up your right knee. Bring it into your chest. Hold on to the tops of your shins. Or you can hold on underneath your leg here on top of your hamstrings. Whichever one feels good to you, take it in and keep lifting your belly up to your thigh here as much as you can. It's not going to reach it. When you start doing yoga, that's a really good time. You start feeling a lot of benefits. The beginner yoga person feels a lot of benefits right away. And then stretch your right leg long, tack it down to the mat, and bring your left leg in. And squeeze it into your chest. Lift your belly button up to your thigh. And tack your right thigh down. Big deep breath. Take your belly up towards your thigh and then exhale it down. Stretch your left leg long. Tack it down. Even spread your toes straight up to the ceiling. And then please pick up your right leg again. Give it a squeeze in. Yeah, motion is lotion. That's one of my favorite sayings. So you're giving your body some motion, bringing oxygen all around. Now here's one of my very favorite poses. Take your right shoulder down, hold onto your knee with your left hand, and roll your hip over and take your knee off to the left. Now stretch your right shoulder the opposite way and even turn your gaze off to the right as your knee comes off to the left. And then energetically, your right hip is stretching away from you. So you get a nice stretch in the side of your body, a nice spinal twist, bringing oxygen to all the little vertebrae there in your back. And then come on up. Stretch that leg long. And bring your left shin into your chest. Make sure your right leg is tacking down. And then root your left arm down. You can take it out, or you can take it out like an airplane. And then roll your left hip over your right. Take your knee way off to the right. It doesn't have to come down to the earth, but you can take it down. And then you stretch your left shoulder the opposite way. And neither one has to touch. It's all about how it feels and about a nice stretch. And then come on up. That's a really nice pose to do any time of the day, especially at night. It decompresses your spine from gravity sinking down. Now take your knees up and then take both knees into the chest. And you can lift up your head here and your headband falls off. Lift your head up if you want, or you can keep it down. And then set your feet down. Press your left foot in and interlace your hands behind the belly of your hamstring. The belly is the middle of your hamstring, so you don't have to go too high up, not too far down, right in the middle. And now press your right thigh away from you. This gives you traction in your lower back. A lot of people have lower back issues. This should help it create space in there. You can keep your knee bent, or you can stretch it long. Keep pressing your right thigh away from you and your left foot into the earth, spreading your toes nice and wide. And then press your right foot into your mat. Pick up your left leg, interlace your fingers behind the belly, and then press that thigh away from you. Press it away, away. And by the way, your hamstrings love to have them pressed into the bones. And then if you'd like, you can press your left foot up to the ceiling. Keep tacking your left hip away from you. And if you want, you can do ankle circles while you're up there. And you can hold some of these poses longer if you'd like. And I recommend you come back and do this practice often. And then set that foot down. Now we're going to do a heart opener pose. It relieves mild depression. We kid around, we say this is the antidepressant pose. So you're going to press your shoulders down, bring your hands up like this. We call this all this jazz. Press your feet down, your whole foot, and keep your whole foot down. And then bottoms up. Bottoms up. And then you use your arms down to help you curl your heart open, curl your bottom tips, your shoulder blades up behind your heart. And keep pressing your feet down. Sometimes they come up, part of them come up. You got to press your whole foot down to really get your hips up and your heart, your chest comes open. We'll stay here for a few breaths. And then come down nice and slow and easy. And let your arms come down and just feel. Connect with the way you're feeling. And yoga's supposed to feel good. So you want to make sure you're doing what feels good. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not. Let's do that pose again, bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So snuggle your arms up nice and close to your torso. Feel your shoulders down, and even the back of your head is pressing down. You want to have a nice curve in your neck. And then press down through your shoulders, your feet, and bring your hips up to your ceiling again. And you see how you can press down through your shoulders and curl your shoulder blades up behind your heart. And you keep your chin slightly tucked in. You still want to be able to breathe. This is a really nice pose. And slowly lower your hips and come on down. And now we're going to do something called eye of the needle. So we'll pick up both shins like this and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can hold on underneath here, underneath your hamstrings again, or you can hold on to the top of your shin, whichever you choose. I'm going to choose here underneath my hamstrings. And the same principle as you press your thigh away from you. Now here, this is a hip opener, so you press your left or your right thigh knee away from you, and you'll feel a stretch in your outer hip area. And you see, you want to flare your toes. No fish feet in beginner's yoga. Press your right thigh away from you. You can stay here with your knee bent, or you can stretch your left leg up to the ceiling. And if you want a little extra core work, you can tone your belly muscles, lift your head up, tuck your chin in, and take it up like this. Take a couple of breaths. And then slowly, we will transition to the other side. Set your left foot down and put your right foot down. Cross your left leg over. And then tack your left knee away from you. Actually, this is a variation. You can just do this pose like this and get the hip opener. So you want to get the hips open, or you pick up your right foot, interlace your hands again, and then you take it a little bit deeper with your left knee pressing away from you. Optionally, right foot up. We got lots of different options always. As long as you live, you got options in yoga to expand and grow and play and explore. Yoga is my hobby. Studying my body. It's a great hobby. And then set both your feet down. And while we're on our backs here, good time for a few sit-ups, right? So pick up your head again, interlace your hands behind your head, hold up that heavy head of yours. We all have heavy heads. And then you can just go up like this. Keep lifting your chest. Try to move from your chest rather than your elbows. We're just going to do about 500 of these, okay? I'm just kidding. We'll start with 5 or 10. Remember, even if you only do 3, every energy, every effort is helpful to your body. Strengthening your core area is your immune system. Your legs and your arms are periphery to your overall health and well-being, really. And then we'll lay down. And then roll your knees to the side and come over to the side. And we're going to come to our hands and knees. Come to your hands and knees. I'll put that over there. And we're going to do a pose called camel pose or ustrasana. So you tuck your toes behind. You want to have your legs parallel and your feet right back behind so they're parallel too. You don't want this or you don't want this. Right back behind you. And then put your hands on your hips. Press down into your legs. Lift up through your vertebrae, through your spine. Curl your shoulders back and lift up your heart again. Another heart opener, a chest opener. Feels really good. So much of our life we're doing the opposite. So you press down through your hips, lift your heart up, and lean back. And you try, have your chin come in a little bit. Maybe this is as far as you go. That's great. Or maybe you can take your left hand to your left heel, and then your right hand to your right heel. And you want to feel the back bend in your upper back. And then you have to really engage your quadricep muscles here. Lift up. Lead with your heart to come up. Press the tops of your feet down. And see if you can sit down on your feet like that. If you can't, no worries. You're still a good person. You can stretch yourself out like this into puppy dog pose. And you find a pose that works for you. You find an angle that works for you, like this. Maybe that works. And then let's come on up. Let's do that camel pose another time. Tuck your toes. Press your hips down. You really want to engage these muscles. These help with the back bend and the heart opener. Your back feels free when it has the stability and the strength of your legs. Curl your shoulders up and back. Lift up your heart. You have the bottom tips of your shoulder blades here. Lift them up. So this is an upper back bend. And then you can lean back a little bit. See if you can get the opposite hand to your heel and then the other hand to your heel. Keep lifting up through your heart. Stay here for a few breaths. And then lead and come right back up through the center. Put your hands on your hips. Place the tops of your feet down. And now we're going to take the knees apart and we'll take the big toes together. And we're going to do Balasana, child's pose. So stretch yourself out like this. If your knees hurt, just take it as far as you can. If everything's fine, you press your hips way back to your heels. And then come up on your fingertips to press your hips back to your heels a little bit more. And stretch out even longer. Stretch. If you'd like, you can rest your forehead down on your mat, but keep stretching. And use your breath to get more length. Practice. See if you can inhale and stretch out through your spine a little more. And then walk yourself up. And if that's all good, we're going to turn over your left leg and then stretch out. Parivrtta Balasana, a twisted child's pose. So now we're turning from our belly, lengthening to the top of our head. Now what happens when you twist off to the left is your right hip wants to come up and go with you. But you got to tack it back to get the nice stretch in your hip and in your lateral muscles along the side. And again, you want to stretch, and if you'd like, you can rest your forehead down. Come on up. And the better it feels, the better it gets. The better it gets, the better it feels. Turn out over your right thigh. And then stretch yourself long. Imagine you're reaching for something that you really want, like a healthier, happier body. Now tack your left hip back. And come on up. And then we're going to do a pose, a very common pose, cat and cow. So you come to all fours, hands and knees. And you can tuck your toes. I think it's better to tuck your toes, but it's fine if you leave your feet down. Just tucking your toes gives you more access to the power of your legs. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Make sure your hands aren't like this, okay? No hands like this, no fish hands. Spread your fingers down. Cat, cat. Round your back, way up, way up. Look in towards your heart. Round your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. It's a nice back massage. And then you take it the opposite way if it feels good. Your sit bones up, shoulders up, gaze up. I just felt my back crack. And then round your back again. Take your navel to your spine, way up. Round your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back. And then the other way. Arch your back. Melt your heart towards the earth. And then one more time, round. And arch. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears. And come back. And then we're going to do a twisted pose variation of this. So take your left hand out in front of you. Please slide your right shoulder under to the mat. See if this works for you. You can just stay here like this, turning from your belly. You're resting your head down. You're resting your shoulder down, and you're up on your fingertips to get space. Draw your left shoulder back and feel. Round your back here. And you can stay right here like this, or if you want to take it a little deeper, you can start inching your left leg straight on the mat behind you. Take a few deep breaths. This looks a little harder than it is. This is pretty accessible for most people. And then we'll come down. And I'm going to go that way, so I won't be looking at you for a moment. Sorry about that. Take your right hand out in front of you. Slide your left shoulder on the mat and the left side of your head down. And come up on your right fingertips. Plug in your shoulder, your right shoulder, and round your back. Should feel really good. And then slide your right leg behind you if you want to. And then come on down. And walk yourself up. And please sit down. And I'm going to do another pose that a lot of people can do that you might like. It's called, I forget what it's called, Omega pose, Omega pose. So you take your feet out in front of you here, and this is a nice hip opener. Take a hold of your inner thigh and take a hold of your sit bone and all the upholstery that goes with it, and take it back and apart and set it down so you get an opening. Lean to the side, keep that one there. Take a hold of your other inner thigh and your sit bone, take it apart. And then inhale. Take your navel to your spine and fold forward over your legs. You feel a nice outer hip opening. And here we let gravity work with us to get your hips open, your outer hips, your inner hips. Take a couple of deep breaths and let gravity help you. The knees come open. Actually move them a little bit up and down. And then come on up. Take your hands to your knees to bring your legs back up. And then give yourself a hug. Round your back. And then arch your back. Give your back a nice massage. It feels so good to limber up your spine. Some of the ancient yogis would say you're as healthy as your spine. And you can do a lot of very simple things to keep your spine healthy. And come on to lay down. we're going to begin and where we began, on our backs. So here, I want you to hold your knees again and make big circles on your sacrum area. Both ways. And then we're going to roll gently front to back. Giving your back a good massage, and you'll probably, if you're like me, usually get a couple of cracks there. Giving yourself some chiropractic adjustments. And then let your legs go down to the earth. Stretch your arms overhead. Hook your thumbs together, please, and stretch as long as you can from your belly out to the top of your head through your fingers. And then from your belly, stretch out through your legs. Point your feet. Point your toes. Point and keep stretching. And then flex your feet. Flex your feet. And point again. So you're stretching yourself in two directions, and it feels so good. And then let your legs fall open. Bring your arms down along your side. Press your shoulders down and curl your shoulder blades up behind your heart so your shoulders can come down even more. And let your legs fall open. Please bring your hands to your belly again and return to your deep belly breathing. Inhale your belly full. Exhale. And instead of sitting up and saying namaste, thank you for joining, we're going to lie down. I'm going to have you finish here. So from my heart to yours, namaste. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. Inhaling your belly full. Exhaling it